Book 9 Summary. Book 9 of Paradise Lost begins with Satan, having been expelled from heaven, standing on the edge of paradise. He is filled with envy and seeks to destroy God's creation, particularly humanity. Satan, in the form of a serpent, decides to enter Eden with the intent of corrupting Adam and Eve. Meanwhile, Adam and Eve, blissfully unaware of Satan's presence, are in the Garden of Eden. They express their love for each other and their gratitude for their perfect existence. God has given them one command: not to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, as disobedience would result in death. Satan, in the form of the serpent, approaches Eve when she is alone. He skillfully engages her in conversation, flattering her intelligence and questioning why God would forbid them from eating the fruit. Satan suggests that the fruit will give her knowledge and wisdom, making her more like God. Eve, enticed by the serpent's words, is drawn to the tree of knowledge. Despite initial misgivings, she eats the fruit and finds it delicious. She then offers it to Adam, who is with her. Adam, motivated by his love for Eve and the fear of losing her, also eats the fruit, knowingly disobeying God's command. As soon as they eat the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes are opened, and they become aware of their nakedness. They feel shame and guilt, which they had never experienced before. Realizing their sin, they sew fig leaves together to cover themselves. Satan, having accomplished his mission, departs from Eden undetected. He returns to hell, where the other fallen angels await him. They are eager to hear his account of what transpired in paradise. The book concludes with God observing the events in Eden and discussing the punishment that awaits Adam and Eve. God acknowledges that humankind has fallen from grace and that they must face the consequences of their disobedience. However, he also hints at a plan for humanity's redemption, indicating that all may not be lost. Paradise Lost. Book 9 is a pivotal chapter in the epic poem, as it depicts the original sin of Adam and Eve and their expulsion from Eden. It explores themes of temptation, disobedience, the consequences of sin, and the beginning of humanity's fallen state. The book also introduces the idea of God's plan for redemption, setting the stage for the unfolding of the narrative in subsequent books. Here is a more detailed analysis and commentary on Book 9 of Paradise Lost, by John Milton. Satan's envy and revenge. At the beginning of Book 9, Satan is depicted as full of envy and a thirst for revenge. He is consumed by hatred for God and seeks to disrupt God's creation, particularly humanity. His rebellion in heaven has transformed into a malicious determination to corrupt God's newly created beings. Adam and Eve's blissful ignorance. Adam and Eve are introduced in their idyllic state of innocence and happiness in the Garden of Eden. They share a deep, loving relationship and are content in their ignorance of sin and shame. Their blissful existence is in stark contrast to the fallen angels in hell. The forbidden fruit and temptation. The central plot of Book 9 revolves around temptation and the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge. Satan, in the form of the serpent, uses persuasive rhetoric to tempt Eve. His cunning manipulation of her curiosity and desire for knowledge is a powerful portrayal of temptation's allure. Eve's vulnerability and choice. Eve's vulnerability to temptation is a significant theme in this book. Her decision to eat the forbidden fruit, driven by the serpent's flattery and persuasion, demonstrates the human capacity for making misguided choices when enticed by desire and curiosity. Her disobedience marks a turning point in the narrative. Adam's love and sacrifice. Adam's choice to eat the forbidden fruit after Eve offers it to him highlights his deep love for her and his willingness to share in her fate. His decision is driven by a desire to remain united with Eve, even if it means facing the consequences of disobedience together. This act of self-sacrifice is a poignant moment in the story. Awareness of sin and shame. Upon eating the fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes are open to the knowledge of good and evil. They suddenly become aware of their nakedness, which symbolizes their newfound understanding of sin and shame. This awareness marks their loss of innocence and their entry into a fallen state. Satan's cunning victory. Satan's success in tempting Eve and leading her to disobedience is a significant victory for him. It is the beginning of the corruption of humanity and a major turning point in the narrative. Satan's craftiness and deception play a crucial role in the story's development. God's divine plan. Despite the fall of Adam and Eve, God's divine plan for humanity's redemption is hinted at in Book 9. God's omniscience and his knowledge of what has transpired in Eden suggest that he has a plan in place to ultimately redeem humanity from sin. This foreshadowing adds a layer of hope amid the consequences of disobedience. In conclusion, Book 9 of Paradise Lost, is a masterful exploration of themes such as temptation, disobedience, love, and the consequences of human choices. Milton's skillful storytelling and poetic prowess make this book a pivotal and thought-provoking part of the epic poem, setting the stage for the unfolding of the human drama and God's divine plan in subsequent books. Let's delve into a more detailed analysis of Book 9 of Paradise Lost by John Milton. Satan's transformation. In Book 9, Satan undergoes a transformation from the defeated angel cast out of heaven to a cunning and manipulative adversary. His determination to corrupt God's creation reflects his unyielding pride and his refusal to accept defeat. Satan's ability to adapt and devise new strategies is a testament to his enduring character as a compelling antagonist. The nature of temptation. The book explores the complex nature of temptation. Satan, in the guise of the serpent, lures Eve with flattery and the promise of knowledge and wisdom. This portrayal underscores how temptation often involves a mix of seduction, persuasion, and the appeal of acquiring forbidden knowledge. Milton's depiction of temptation is psychologically rich, providing insight into the human condition. The role of gender. Eve's vulnerability to temptation raises questions about gender roles and the portrayal of women in Paradise Lost. Some readers interpret Eve's actions as emblematic of the perceived weaknesses of women, while others view her as a representation of human susceptibility to temptation regardless of gender. This aspect of the text invites discussions about gender dynamics and societal expectations. Love and sacrifice. Adam's decision to eat the fruit after Eve demonstrates the theme of love and sacrifice. His willingness to share in her fate out of love for her illustrates the depth of their emotional bond. This act of self-sacrifice underscores the idea that love can lead individuals to make choices that have profound consequences. The loss of innocence. Adam and Eve's consumption of the forbidden fruit marks their loss of innocence. Their newfound awareness of good and evil, along with their shame and self-consciousness about their nakedness, symbolizes their transition from a state of purity to one of moral complexity. This theme reflects the broader narrative of the fall of humanity from grace. God's omniscience. Throughout the book, God's omniscience is emphasized. He is portrayed as all-knowing, aware of events in Eden even before they unfold. This portrayal underscores God's sovereignty and his ability to oversee the unfolding of his divine plan, even in the face of human disobedience. Theological implications. Book 9 introduces theological concepts central to the poem, such as original sin and the consequences of human disobedience. The fall of Adam and Eve sets the stage for the overarching theological narrative of redemption through Christ, which is a foundational Christian doctrine. Narrative structure. The book follows a well-structured narrative arc, with Satan's plot, Eve's temptation, and Adam's decision all contributing to the tension and climax of the story. This careful narrative construction engages readers and underscores the gravity of the events in Eden. In conclusion, Book 9 of Paradise Lost is a rich and multifaceted segment of the epic poem. It explores themes of temptation, gender, love, sacrifice, and the loss of innocence while advancing the narrative of humanity's fall from grace. Milton's poetic craftsmanship and deep philosophical insights make this book a captivating and intellectually stimulating part of the overall epic. Book 9 of Paradise Lost by John Milton. Several key characters play pivotal roles in the unfolding of the narrative. Let's examine these characters and their significance. Satan. Satan is the central character in the entire epic and continues to be the primary antagonist in Book 9. His transformation from the fallen angel to a cunning and deceitful serpent is notable. Satan's determination to corrupt God's creation drives the plot of this book. He embodies traits of pride, ambition, and malice, making him a complex and compelling character. Eve. Eve is introduced as a symbol of innocence and beauty in Eden. However, she becomes a central figure in Book 9 as she is tempted by Satan in the form of the serpent. Her vulnerability to temptation and her choice to eat the forbidden fruit have far-reaching consequences. Eve's character highlights themes of human fallibility, curiosity, and the consequences of disobedience. Adam. Adam, as Eve's partner and spouse, plays a crucial role in Book 9. His love for Eve and his willingness to share in her fate demonstrate his deep emotional connection and sense of responsibility. His choice to eat the forbidden fruit after Eve does so is a pivotal moment, emphasizing themes of love, sacrifice, and the human capacity for error. God. While God does not appear directly in Book 9, his presence is felt throughout the narrative. God's omnipotence and omniscience are emphasized, as he is aware of the events in Eden even before they unfold. His command not to eat from the tree of knowledge sets the stage for the conflict and consequences in this book. God's role as the ultimate authority and arbiter of justice underscores the theological themes of the poem. The serpent, Satan in disguise. The serpent, initially a subtle and persuasive creature, serves as the physical embodiment of Satan's cunning and temptation. It is through the serpent's guise that Satan enters Eden and successfully deceives Eve. The serpent's transformation from a creature of the garden to an instrument of deception symbolizes the corrupting influence of evil. The angels in heaven. While not central to the events in Eden, the fallen angels in hell eagerly await Satan's return and seek to hear his account of his mission. Their curiosity and anticipation reflect their continued rebellion against God. The fallen angels represent the broader conflict between good and evil in the epic. In Book 9, these characters interact in a way that drives the plot and explores essential themes such as temptation, disobedience, love, sacrifice, and the consequences of human choices. Each character's actions and motivations contribute to the complex moral and theological landscape of the poem, making Paradise Lost a profound exploration of human nature and divine justice. Let's further examine specific aspects of Book 9 of Paradise Lost by John Milton. Satan's character development. Book 9 continues to develop Satan as a central character. He evolves from a defeated and resentful fallen angel to a cunning and manipulative figure who actively engages in temptation. This transformation highlights the complexity of his character and the depth of his enmity toward God and humanity. His ability to adapt and deceive underscores his status as a formidable antagonist. Eve's vulnerability and agency. Eve's character is at the forefront of this book. Her vulnerability to temptation and her choice to eat the forbidden fruit raise important questions about agency and free will. While influenced by the serpent, Eve ultimately makes her own decision, illustrating the complexity of human moral choices and the consequences they entail. Adam's love and sacrifice. Adam's love for Eve is a central theme in this book. His willingness to share in her fate, even though he knows the consequences, showcases his deep affection and sense of partnership. This theme of love and sacrifice underscores the idea that love can motivate individuals to make profound choices. The nature of temptation. Book 9 delves into the psychology of temptation. Satan, in the form of the serpent, uses a combination of flattery, persuasion, and deceit to entice Eve. This portrayal offers insights into the allure of temptation and how individuals can be drawn into making choices that they know are wrong but find enticing. Loss of innocence and shame. The moment Adam and Eve eat at the forbidden fruit marks their loss of innocence. Their newfound awareness of good and evil brings shame and self-consciousness, which they had never experienced before. This loss of innocence is a pivotal moment in the poem and sets the stage for humanity's fallen state. Theological themes. Book 9 introduces theological concepts central to the epic, such as original sin and the consequences of human disobedience. The fall of Adam and Eve serves as the foundation for the overarching narrative of redemption through Christ, emphasizing themes of divine justice and mercy. Narrative tension and structure. The book is structured to build narrative tension, with Satan's plot, Eve's temptation, and Adam's choice all contributing to the climax of the story. Milton's careful narrative construction engages readers and underscores the gravity of the events in Eden. Gender dynamics and interpretations. Eve's vulnerability and her role in the fall have led to various interpretations and discussions about gender dynamics in Paradise Lost. Some readers view Eve's actions as emblematic of perceived weaknesses of women, while others emphasize her role as a representative of human susceptibility to temptation, regardless of gender. In summary, Book 9 of Paradise Lost offers a nuanced examination of character development, moral choices, and theological themes. The interactions and decisions of the characters drive the narrative forward, prompting readers to contemplate the complexities of human nature, free will, and the consequences of disobedience. Milton's poetic craftsmanship and philosophical depth make this book a pivotal and thought-provoking part of the epic. A critical appreciation of Book 9 of Paradise Lost by John Milton involves a thoughtful analysis of its literary qualities, thematic depth, and its significance within the broader context of the epic poem. Here's a critical appreciation of this book. Tension and temptation. Milton masterfully builds tension throughout the book, particularly in the interactions between Eve and the serpent, Satan in disguise. The gradual development of temptation and the serpent's persuasive rhetoric make for gripping storytelling. Milton's ability to capture the psychological nuances of temptation adds depth to the narrative. Character complexity. Book 9 continues to develop the characters of Satan, Eve, and Adam. Satan's transformation into a cunning tempter, Eve's vulnerability, and Adam's love and sacrifice showcase Milton's skill in crafting multi-dimensional characters. Their motivations and choices are explored in a way that reflects the complexity of human nature. Exploration of free will. The book delves into the concept of free will and moral agency. While Eve is tempted by the serpent, she ultimately exercises her free will in making the choice to eat the forbidden fruit. This exploration of human agency raises philosophical and ethical questions about the nature of choice and responsibility. The role of gender. Eve's role in the fall and her vulnerability to temptation have sparked discussions about gender dynamics in Paradise Lost. Some readers interpret her actions as emblematic of stereotypes about women's weaknesses, while others see her as a symbol of human frailty and susceptibility to temptation. This dimension of the text invites critical examination of gender representations. Theological depth. Book 9 introduces and expands upon key theological themes, such as original sin and the consequences of disobedience. These theological concepts are central to the overarching narrative of redemption through Christ. Milton's exploration of divine justice, mercy, and the nature of sin adds depth and complexity to the poem's theological dimensions. Narrative structure and pacing. The book is carefully structured to create narrative tension, with the serpent's plot, Eve's temptation, and Adam's decision leading to a climactic moment. Milton's skillful pacing keeps readers engaged and invested in the characters' choices and their implications. Psychological realism. Milton's portrayal of the psychological realism of temptation, guilt, and shame is a hallmark of his poetic prowess. The characters' inner thoughts and emotions are vividly depicted, allowing readers to empathize with their struggles and dilemmas. Foreshadowing and significance. Book 9 serves as a turning point in Paradise Lost. It marks the original sin and the fall of humanity, setting the stage for the broader narrative of redemption. The book's events and themes are deeply significant in the epic's overall structure and theological message. In conclusion, Book 9 of Paradise Lost is a masterful exploration of temptation, character development, and theological themes. Its literary qualities, including narrative tension, psychological realism, and nuanced character portrayals, make it a crucial and intellectually stimulating part of the epic. Milton's ability to engage readers in profound moral and philosophical debates while crafting a compelling narrative is a testament to his skill as a poet and thinker. Paradise Lost is undoubtedly one of the most significant and enduring works in the English literary canon. Book 9, in particular, stands out as a pivotal and thought-provoking segment of this epic poem. Here are some additional comments on the critical and literary importance of Book 9. Moral and ethical exploration. Book 9 delves deep into moral and ethical questions, inviting readers to contemplate the nature of free will, moral agency, and the consequences of choice. It challenges readers to consider the complexities of human nature and the factors that influence our decisions. Character complexity. The character development in this book is remarkable. Milton's portrayal of Satan's transformation and Eve's vulnerability adds layers of depth to the characters. The choices they make are not one-dimensional but reflect the intricacies of human psychology and motivation. Gender and feminist interpretation. Eve's role in the fall has sparked feminist interpretations and discussions about gender dynamics in literature. Some interpretations emphasize the potential subtext of gender bias in how Eve's actions are portrayed, while others explore Eve as a symbol of universal human frailty. Theological and philosophical depth. Paradise Lost, as a whole, and Book 9 in particular, are rich in theological and philosophical themes. The exploration of original sin, divine justice, and the concept of redemption through Christ adds layers of intellectual depth to the narrative. Literary craftsmanship. Milton's poetic craftsmanship is evident throughout the book. His use of vivid imagery, metaphors, and eloquent language contributes to the enduring appeal of Paradise Lost. The poem's literary qualities continue to captivate readers and scholars alike. Narrative tension. The book's careful narrative construction and pacing create a sense of anticipation and tension as the story unfolds. The gradual build-up to Eve's decision to eat the fruit and Adam's subsequent choice keeps readers engaged and invested in the characters' fates. Enduring relevance. Despite being written in the 17th century, Paradise Lost remains relevant and thought-provoking. Its exploration of human nature, morality, and the eternal struggle between good and evil continues to resonate with readers and scholars in various cultural and historical contexts. In sum, Book 9 of Paradise Lost is a testament to John Milton's literary genius and his ability to engage readers in profound philosophical and moral debates. Its enduring significance lies in its capacity to provoke critical examination and inspire discussions on a wide range of themes, making it a timeless masterpiece of English literature.